Hey guys, it's Haley. You should know me by now. And so, over the last semester, I've told you a bunch of different stories, from my grandpa breaking out of jail to different tales of different wild women. And that's kind of the theme that I wanted to keep in this, my last historical, fact-based story. So, the woman I want to tell you about today, her name is Rebecca Harkness. Now, you may or may not have heard of her. The reason that I've heard of her was because in 2020, Taylor Swift released an album called Folklore. And on the album, there's a song called The Last Great American Dynasty. And the song's about Rebecca's life. When I listened to it for the first time, I was like, wow, this lady's crazy. I love her. And so then I decided to spend the next 2 days just diving in, researching everything that I could on Rebecca. And the more that I found, the more that I grew to love her, but I also grew to pity her. She had a very sad life, full of a lot of tragedy, a lot of heartbreak, but also she never failed to just make the most of wherever she was. So that's the story that I'm going to tell you today, and without further ado, let me become Rebecca. It's so lovely for all of you to make it to the funeral here today at the house. Did you guys know Bill very well? No? Who are you? Anyways, so Bill, my husband, Bill Harkness House, Standard Oil, ever heard of it? This stuff? Okay, whatever. Bill was an incredible man, truly. He could stand up to me when no one else could. And it's really a deep tragedy that he's no longer here with me today. But it's okay, you know, I'll carry on. I'm just survived by our 3 wonderful children, wherever they are. I don't know. The nanny takes care of those mongrels. So I built 8 extra kitchens in my house so I would never have to deal with them. And the house, our wonderful house, up in Watch Hill, Rhode Island, the Holiday House. I remember when Bill first took me there. We were just going around hunting on the coast, and then I saw the biggest house in all of Rhode Island, and I was like, that's the one. He said, anything for you, Betty. And then we bought it, and then I added 17 more bedrooms. Oh, goodness. Good times, good times. So, now that, you know, we've sang our songs and said our prayers, he's dead, right? He was always a buzzkill anyways, so let's have some fun. All right. So, you know what? I'm done with this. My husband's dead, my kids are wherever, the nannies are wherever, so I want to have my friends around me. So a little bit about me was I grew up in St. Louis. Woo! Anybody from St. Louis in here? Of course not. We're all here in Rhode Island. So, back in my college days, I was a little bit wild. My senior year yearbook quote was that I wanted to always do everything bad. And I've been doing a pretty good job so far. So, my college friends are actually about to come in right now. Maggie, Marjorie, and Elise. And they are just the best girls in the world. By the best girls, I mean the worst girls. We had a great time just making a mess of everything. Back in South Carolina, where we all went to our finishing school, we were all just the best debutantes down there. Picture it. Impeccable shoes, dresses short enough to make our fathers have a little bit of a stroke, hair done to the nines, nails prim and proper. But we got kind of bored with that scene. You know what it's like being a rich debutante. Obviously you do. You're hanging out with me. So, you know, things can be a little bit boring, but the bitch pack never let me live it down. Oh, have I not? Do you not know about them? You clearly don't read the St. Louis Today. So, me and my girlies were affectionately named the Bitch Pack by our local newspaper. We must have been a bit of a hit, huh? Well, to be fair, we did bring it onto ourselves. I mean, gosh, if Daddy makes me go to all these balls and do all these different things, I have to at least have some fun while I'm there, right? Oh my gosh, I remember my little sister's Julie, it was her debutante ball. She had the biggest white dress I'd ever seen. She looked like a damn wedding cake walking down the aisle there. And everybody was just in white, and everybody was ho-ho-ho-ho-hoing at each other, and I just couldn't stand it. So me and the girlies, what did we do? We pulled out the little hip flask. Now, to be fair, I love me a drink every now and then, but this, we had a little bit better surprise up our sleeves. So we each poured our flasks into the punch bowl and sat and waited. Guess what we poured in? Mineral oil. You know what mineral oil does? Makes people shit themselves. So, at the debutante ball, all the pretty little white dresses were soon runny brown all over the place. And as if that wasn't enough, the very next week at another ball, we decided that clearly we didn't cause enough ruckus at the last one, so we jumped up onto the table and started doing a little striptease on the table for all the townspeople to see. Some people enjoyed it very much. The wives, not so much. But I never let that stop me. You know what? I think life is just all about having fun and doing things the way that I want to do it. See, take me right now. I mean, now that Bill's passed, God rest his soul, wherever my dollar is, buy another one. Anyways, so now that Bill's gone, this is the time I really want to get back focused on me. My whole life, I've just been in love with the arts. As a young girl, I did figure skating and ballet. Most of that was to, keep my figure nice and slim for, the table stripteases, of course. But I just really fell in love with music and art and dancing. While I may not be the best myself, I surely do love it. So what I've decided to do with the Holiday House is I built on an additional beautiful sunroom right on the coast. And I've decided to dub it the Harkness Ballet. Where's the applause? Come on. Thank you. So it was just a really, cheap little project. It was only something like $35 million to renovate the house. I mean, just pocket change at this point, Anyways, so this week, the ballet is set to have its first production. I'm so excited. Everybody's flying in. Obviously, the girlies are coming, and my good friend, Dolly. Now, I know that I'm here with a bunch of Southerners, so I just do want to make sure and be really clear. When I say Dolly, I'm not talking about the big-haired woman. I'm talking about Salvador Dali. You may have heard of him. We go way back. See, Salvador is pretty bad at a little game that I like to call poker, and I have been doing pretty well for myself. We have another game coming up soon, and he decided that if I won this week's game, that he would custom make me my urn for when I pass. Dealing with Bill has really got me thinking about death lately, and so if Dolly says if I win this week, then I'll get a nice bejeweled urn, which is a little bit lame. I mean, we've all seen that. We've been there, we've done. I'm Rebecca Harkness. I want things to be done a little bit differently. So I'm going to demand that it spins. Gosh, it's really sad, Bill's passing. I mean, he was my second husband. So a lot of memories there. I mean, we were only married for 7 short years, but he was the love of my life at the time. So, I mean, I'd been married once before. He was really nothing special, and goodness, I let it slip to one of my maids, and then they went and told the newspaper. But as soon as I walked down the aisle to my first husband, I just knew that I'd made a terrible mistake. Thankfully, I only had to pop out 2 kids, and then he would let me get divorced. So it was on to the next one. And then I met Bill. He was incredible. We met at a house party that a friend threw in New York, and then within 2 weeks, we were married in that very same apartment. Things were like a fairy tale. It was incredible. I just got to be myself, and Bill would try to cage me. But it was kind of nice having someone be there and try to protect me. I mean, both my parents were never really around. I was raised by nannies. Hilda. Why Mommy picked her? It was because that she had worked at an insane asylum before. And she said that she was the only one that was able to deal with me, the little brat. Oh, God, both those bitches are dead, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Oh, goodness, but it's difficult, It's been a rough life so far. You know what? All that I'm here, I just want to have fun with my friends, just keep moving forward. My wonderful children, wherever they are. They're going to go up. They're going to do great things, and Mommy's going to make sure of it. Where's the money? Oh, poor Bill. God, I really did love him, you know, and it wasn't even just for the money. I mean, God, he only left me like $250 million or something like that. Like, it was honestly a little pathetic. But he never really let me go where I wanted to. Get it together, Rebecca. Now, what are we going to do going forwards? I've already talked to you about the wonderful ballet that I've started, and I've also started composing myself. All my friends say it's good, and so do the people that I pay to like it. The general public has some mixed opinions, but they just don't understand my tastes anyways. This next week, I'm composing something that will eventually be featured in New York, or so my friend promises me, and he better, because I own his dance studio. So, me, I think I'll be fine. Rest in peace, Bill. You were a real one. But if there's one thing that I know, is that I've had a wonderful time ruining everything. Thank you.